Hey, I don't know if you heard about Ted Nugent, what he said about President Obama. Now, for those who don't know who he is, he's always on CNN or on Fox News more, a lot regular than most other networks. And he was known for I forget the name. I think it's cat scratch fever or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was a song back in the '70s. And I guess the older you get, the crazier you get. I mean, I think it was always there for this guy because he's been saying some crazy shit for years. But ever since President Obama became president, these celebrities or B-list or C-list celebrities have come out of the woodwork all of a sudden. But he was at the NRA convention and he said this about excuse me. I'm sorry. He said this about the president. Let me read. Okay, let's see. Let me go back up. Rocker Ted Nugent came out strong for Mitt Romney at this weekend's National Rifle Association convention, blasting the Obama administration as wiping its ass with the Constitution and demanding on its rally the troops for the GOP candidate. In a video spotlighted by Right Wing Watch, Nugent doesn't mince words when describing the sitting president's administration, which he describes as vile, evil, and American-hating. Update. Right Wing Watch has posted more footage from the event in which Nugent compares Obama and the Democrats to a coyote that should be shot. With the new footage at the bottom of this article, this isn't the enemy that ruined America. It's a good people who bent over and let the enemy in, he said. If the coyote is in your living room, pissing on your couch, it's not the coyote's fault. It's your fault for not shooting him. Wow. People for the American Way. The organization behind Right Wing Watch released a statement demanding that Romney rebuke Nugent, who sits on the NRA board. We don't expect moderation from Ted Nugent, PFAW President Michael Keaton said, but we do expect major presidential candidate Mitt Romney to rebuke a prominent support for spewing hate-filled and violent rhetoric against the President of the United States. Through the wild rhetoric from the weekend, Nugent already endorsed Romney in early March. He also threatened to kill Obama and Hillary Clinton and elusively praised Sarah Palin in the 2010 Time 100 issue. Wow. Nugent is hardly the only musician to be associated with Romney in recent weeks. After KISS frontman Gene Simmons was quoted as saying he supported Romney's physical policy, outlets were quickly to say the rocker endorsed Romney. Simmons quickly disputed the account, taking to Twitter to tell fans, I have not endorsed Mitt Romney for press. Nugent was more direct. If Barack Obama becomes president in November again, I will either be dead or in jail by this time next year, he said. If you can't galvanize and promote and recruit people to vote for Mitt Romney, we're done. And what's the best way to galvanize and to promote, Ted? We need to ride into that battlefield and chop their heads off in November. Any questions? You know, a lot of people have been saying some pretty disrespectful things about Mr. Obama. Mr. Obama has gotten all kinds of death threats, his family as well. And people who openly supported President Obama in workplaces or just going to rallies have been harassed. Hell, some people have been murdered. They don't like talking about it a lot because they try to deflect and dance around it. Ted Nugent needs to be arrested. Now, let me have said something about President Bush, President Clinton, Bush Sr., Ronald Reagan. Oh, hell, let me even talk about Vice President Cheney now. Even as disrespectful he's been, don't you think the Secret Service will come knocking on our door? But these people on Fox News or on other shows have said some pretty vile things, and they want to do harm. And people like Ted Nugent, Bill O'Reilly, and Sean Hannity know exactly what the fuck they doing. These fuckers would never do it themselves. Yeah, I mean, they probably could. They can get away with it, but they really wouldn't do it. They want to send other people out there to do some things. I'm going to play this video so you can see what he said, because I don't want anybody saying that I'm exaggerating or I'm just putting words out there, but I want you to see this.
If you can't get a couple of hundred people each of you, some of you, I bet you can get a couple thousand. Your goal should be able to get a couple of thousand people per person who's here to vote for Mitt Romney in November. If you don't know that our government is wiping its ass with the Constitution, you're living under a rock someplace. And that there's a dead soldier, an airman, a Marine, a seaman, a hero of the military that just got his legs blown off for the U.S. Constitution. And we got a president and attorney general who doesn't even like the Constitution. We got 4 Supreme Court justices who don't believe in the Constitution. Does everybody know here that 4 of the Supreme Court justices not only determined you don't have the right to keep and bear arms, 4 Supreme Court justices signed their name to a declaration that Americans have no fundamental right to self-defense? That sounds like a stoned hippie. That doesn't sound like a Supreme Court anything. It sounds like a supremely intellectually vacuous punk. To think that a human could think that humans don't have a basic right to self-defense is so bizarre to me as to my brain can't accept the information. And if you want more of those kinds of evil, anti-American
notice all the
then don't
white
get
people
involved
there.
and let Obama take office again. Because I'll tell you this right now, if Barack Obama becomes the president in November again, I will either be dead or in jail by this time next year. Being at the NRA event, God bless you, good indicator. But if you can't go home and get everybody in your lives to clean house in this vile, evil, America-hating administration, I don't even know what you're made out of. If you can't galvanize and promote and recruit people to vote for Mitt Romney, we're done. We'll be a suburb of Indonesia next year. Our president and attorney general, our vice president, Hillary Clinton, they're criminals. They're criminals. And if you take that adamant, we the people defiance, remember we're Americans because we defied the king. We didn't negotiate and compromise with the king. We defied the emperors. We are patriots. We are Braveheart. We need to ride into that battlefield and chop their heads off in November. Any questions?
Okay, did I say more people? Now, some of you brothers and sisters are not aware of this, not understand that, but maybe you should. Look, while I'm not happy with everything the president has done and said, when you got people like that supporting Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney not coming out rebuking that or dismissing Ted Nugent's comments, it says more about Mitt Romney and the Republican Party. Now here it is, they've gone after Reverend Wright for speaking truth, but this guy speak hate, and somehow this guy's a true patriot. And I'm going to tell you something, I don't know if Ted Nugent served in the military, but I have, and the shit they're saying is not true, okay? It's always these motherfuckers that never served, or who served and never served in combat, or have never come home with good war stories they can tell, are always talking about wars and talking about take the country back. Take it back to what? See, this is what I did in one of my videos. I think it was on my old channel where I had people look at the image and point out the young people in the picture. Well, guess what? Those people at that point was his age, in his age group. Don't think his kids, if he has them, or his grandkids have the same mindset. Racism is a poison that is a cancer that we need to find a way to stop. This is why I'm so passionate about our people getting to love each other and understand each other. Because I'm going to be honest with you, every time I see shit like this, I say it's no hope for white people. There's no hope for them. Because for so long, they have bought into this diatribe about how they're more American, when in fact, black people have been here a lot longer than the majority of these people claim to be white or claim to be American. But yet, our patriotism is always questioned. And before you brothers and sisters say, no, we got to leave here, this is as much as ours, if not more ours than anybody. If they had it so good, or they think they like it with a predominantly white country, why don't they go back over to England somewhere? Oh, guess what? We're over there too. These bastards wake up more than hell. And is much crap that's going on in our community. We don't talk about this. And look how the media raised hell about the new Black Panther Party so putting a bounty or a reward, as I like to correct people, because it was a reward for his capture, because the guy did commit a crime. The guy was in hiding. Look how the media made a big deal about that. Even here in local news made a big deal about that. But this bastard gets out here and openly say he wants to do harm to President Obama, and nobody's making a big stink out of it. It tells you who runs the media, and it tells you how this country gets down.